How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? As you get ready to listen to this upcoming episode from the Playmakers Blog Podcast, I just want to let you know that you too can get into the podcast journey. It's very simple. It's very easy. All you got to do is jump on Anchor, the one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. It is 100% free and easy to use. And even with Anchor, you can get great sponsors who want to advertise your podcast. That means you can get paid for your podcast right away from Jump Street. So in fact, reading this ad is what I'm doing right now. So if you had the time, if you had the will and determination and the dream to be a podcaster, what you waiting for? Jump on it. Anchor is the way to go. You ready? I'm ready. The Playmakers Bar Podcast present Hoops Talk, hosted by Darnell, the Playmaker Salins. NBA, college basketball, playoffs, March Madness. No matter what, we talking hoops, man. Let's get it. Ladies and gentlemen, today is Friday. Today is May 14th. So you know what that means. It is Hoops Talk. By your host, Darnell, the Playmaker Silence out here in Jacksonville, Florida, representing the Playmakers Blog brand. And we are 2 days away from the end of the regular season. We are 4 days away for the play-in tournament. And we are 8 days away before the playoffs starting. This is real, ladies and gentlemen. This is real. And I'm going to show you how real it is in a few. Because I got the standings here. And I know who's in the playoffs. And I know who's in the play-in. One conference is already set for the play-in and the playoffs. Well, not fully, but we know all the participants that will be in it. And another conference, we still got one piece to figure out. So without further ado, let's go ahead and let's recap what took place from Tuesday all the way to where we now today. Tuesday results starting with the Miami Heat were in Boston to take on the Boston Celtics. The Miami Heat took this one 129-121. Tyler Hero, 24 points, 11 boards. That makes me happy. Duncan Robinson and Ben Adebayo had 22 points each. That makes me happy. Okay, this is the Miami team we wanted to see. There's no Jimmy Butler in here. You know why? Because Jimmy Butler didn't need to be a superstar this day. It was about Hero. And then Robinson showed up. And then Bam showed up. It's about damn time. Kemba Walker had 36 points with 7 boards. Jason Tatum had 33 points, 8 boards, and 6 assists. In a losing effort. That win on Tuesday night clinched the playoff berth for Miami. Not a play-in berth, playoff berth, which means they will not be in the play-in. They are in the playoffs. We had the Denver Nuggets head down to Charlotte to take on the Hornets on Tuesday night. 117-112 victory for the Denver Nuggets over the Charlotte Hornets. Joker, 30 points, 11 boards, 6 assists. Michael Porter Jr., 30 points, 6 boards. Devontae Graham led the way for the Hornets with 31 points and 5 assists. Joker and Porter Jr. combined for 60 points, 12 boards. They had more than half the points for the Nuggets. That tells you something. We had the LA Clippers in Toronto to take on the Raptors. 115-96. Kawhi Leonard 20.7 boards, 5 assists. That game eliminated the Toronto Raptors from play-in and playoff contention, so they were gone. The Philadelphia 76ers, they was in Indiana to take on the Pacers on Tuesday night. 103-93, the Pacers beat the 76ers. Tobias Harris, 27 points, 5 boards. Sabonis 16 points, 13 boards, 15 assists, a triple-double. Caris LeVert, 24 points, 7 boards, 5 assists. As the Pacers is keeping up in the play-in tournament. So, matter of fact, I think that clinched. Yes, that win actually for the Pacers clinched them the play-in berth. The Brooklyn Nets were in Chicago to take on the Bulls. 115-107 win over the Chicago Bulls for the Brooklyn Nets. We had Kevin Durant with 21 points, 8 boards. 8 Brooklyn Nets scored in double figures. Like, wow. Zach LaVine had 41 points in a losing effort. I mean, Zach LaVine has been balling his ass off. I cannot lie. Zach LaVine been balling his ass off for the Chicago Bulls, but man, they just missing some pieces, man. They just missing some pieces. That's what it is. But Chicago's still alive as of right now. The Dallas Mavericks were in Memphis to take on the Memphis Grizzlies. Not a good day at the office for the Mavericks. 133-104 victory for the Memphis Grizzlies. John Morant, 24 points, 7 boards, 8 assists. Dylan Brooks, 22 points. Luka Doncic struggled. I think he had like 16 points. It was a struggle for Luka Doncic. He couldn't shoot the ball that night. He just couldn't. We had the Phoenix Suns in the Bay Area to take on the Golden State Warriors, and the Golden State Warriors took it 122-116. Andrew Wiggins, 38 points, 7 boards to lead the Warriors over the Suns. Devin Booker had 34 points, 7 boards himself. But, hey, Andrew Wiggins showed up. Steph Curry had like 21 points in that game. But it was all about Andrew Wiggins in that one. And then the nightcap on Tuesday night, we had the New York Knicks take on the Los Angeles Lakers in Staples Center. Julius Randle versus Anthony Davis. And in overtime, 101-99, the Lakers take down the Knicks. Julius Randle, 31 points, 8 boards, 5 assists. But it wasn't Anthony Davis who led the way for the Lakers. Kyle Kuzma led the way for the Lakers with 23 points. Andre Drummond, 16 points and 18 boards. Big win for the Lakers, man. They in the play-in spot right now, but they still have a shot to get into the playoffs and not have to worry about a play-in. But that's Tuesday's recap. Let's go to Wednesday's recap, shall we? And on Wednesday, the San Antonio Spurs that was in Brooklyn to take on the Nets. The Brooklyn Nets took it 128-116. DeMar DeRozan led the way for the Spurs with 21 points and 5 assists. Landry Shamet led the way for the Brooklyn Nets, 21 points. James Harden coming off the bench, 18 points, 7 boards, 11 assists. 8 Brooklyn Nets scored at double figures. But San Antonio has clinched a play-in berth, sir. We're going to get to that when I get to the standings. Also on Wednesday night, we had the Washington Wizards in the ATL to take on the Atlanta Hawks. The Atlanta Hawks took this one, a very tight contested game, 120-116. Russell Westbrook, 34 points, 5 boards, 15 assists. Just wasn't enough as Trae Young had 33 points, 8 boards, 9 assists. The Atlanta Hawks on Wednesday night clinched a playoff berth for the first time since 2017. The first time since 2017. Hey, shout out to Atlanta Hawks, Trae Young, Clint Capella, Bogdanovich, and that crew. They have been playing well. They've been playing good. They deserve the playoffs. Nice to see the ATL in the playoffs. All right. Also Wednesday night, we had a team that get eliminated from postseason contention. It was the New Orleans Pelicans and the Dallas Mavericks. The Dallas Mavericks took it 125-107. Luka Doncic led the way with 33 points, 8 boards, 8 assists. Tim Hardaway Jr. added 27 points for the Mavericks. The Pelicans had 7 players scoring double figures, but in this loss right here by 18 points, the New Orleans Pelicans have been eliminated. From postseason contention. No play-in, no playoffs for the New Orleans Pelicans for the second consecutive year. Zion Williamson doesn't finish the season, and the second year in a row, the New Orleans Pelicans can't make the postseason. So that's that for that. And that was the last team in the West who had a shot to make it. The Pelicans was the last team in the West that had the shot to make it. That's why the West is pretty much, we know the participants in the West. I will let you know who all that is. But let's finish up the recap for Wednesday. We had the Portland Trailblazers in Utah, in Salt Lake City, to take on the number one team in the league, the Utah Jazz. And the Portland Trailblazers, 105-98 over the Utah Jazz. Damian Lillard, 30 points, 6 assists. CJ McCullough, 26 points. Jordan Clarkson led the way for the Utah with 29 points. And that was the Blazers' 5th win in a row. They racking up wins at the right moment in time. But let's go to last night. Starting off with South Beach. Round 2 with the Philadelphia 76ers and the Miami Heat. And the Miami Heat took that one. 106-94. Tobias Harris had 21 points. Jimmy Butler had 21 points and 5 boards to lead the Heat. The Heat keep rolling. After losing to Brooklyn just the night before, the San Antonio Spurs had to head up to Madison Square Garden to take on the New York Knicks. New York Knicks took it 102-98. DeMar DeRozan, 27 points, 8 boards to lead the Spurs. But Alex Burke off the bench for the Nets, 30 points, 10 boards. Ooh. Julius Randle added 25 points, 9 boards, 9 assists. RJ Barrett added 24 points, 9 boards, 5 assists. Hey, man. To get 30 from somebody off your bench like that from Alex Burke, New York Knicks better have won that game. They better have won that game. Sound like they better have won that game. Good win. And then heading down to Charlotte, North Carolina, as the Hornets hosted the Los Angeles Clippers. And the Clippers took it 113-94. You know, Charlotte did not have a good game. It was all about the Clippers. Kawhi Leonard, 16 points, 9 boards. Reggie Jackson, 19 points off the bench, but it was the Paul George show in Charlotte. 20 points, 10 boards, 6 assists. PG-13 took over in Charlotte, so shout out to PG-13 on that one last night. We're going from Charlotte, North Carolina up to Indianapolis, Indiana, because there the Pacers hosted the Milwaukee Bucks. And then the highest scoring affair, the Milwaukee Bucks, 142 to the Pacers, 133. Giannis Antetokounmpo, 40 points, 15 boards, 6 assists. Chris Middleton added 21 points. Brooke Lopez added 21 points. Jrue Holiday, 20 points and 14 assists. You had the top 4 Bucks go 20 points. Giannis with 40. Middleton with 22. Lopez with 21. Holiday with 20. That's just nasty. That's over 100 points by itself. That's just nasty. Drew brother Justin Holiday led away for the Pacers with 26 points, 5 boards, 5 assists. TJ McConnell added 23 points, 5 boards, 7 assists. The Pacers had 8 in double figures, but let me look, man. Drew and Giannis combined for 60 by themselves. Then you add 22 from Middleton. That's 82. And then you add 21 from Lopez. That's 103. 103 from 4 players. 4 players got you over 100 by themselves. If this Milwaukee team shows up in the playoffs, we got something to talk about. But if it's the big word in that one. All right, then the nightcap from last night. It was down in Phoenix, Arizona, as the Portland Trail Blazers took their 5-game winning streak into into the desert to take on the Suns. What a game. 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 118 to 117. The Phoenix Suns. Phoenix Suns took down the Portland Trailblazers. Snapping the 5-game winning streak the Blazers were on. Damian Lillard, 41 points, 5 boards, 5 assists. CJ McCullough, 27 points, 6 assists. Chris Paul led the way with 26 points, 7 assists. Cameron Payne off the bench, 21 points, 6 boards, 5 assists. 7 Suns in double figures. Shout out to the Phoenix Suns on that great win right there. That was a great win for the Phoenix Suns. But now, we just switching over. Let's look at the standings now. As the East standings set right here, we only got one spot to fight for in the East. But as of right now, the teams that are in the playoffs, officially in the playoffs. Number 1, the Philadelphia 76ers at 47-23. Number 2, the Brooklyn Nets at 46-24. Number 3, Milwaukee, 45-25. Atlanta at 4th place with 40-31. The Miami Heat in 5th with 39-31. Also, the New York Knicks, who are in 6th place with the same record of 39-31. There's some moves to be had in seeding-wise, but those 6 teams in the East are in the playoffs. Not the play-in, the playoffs. Teams that are in the play-in and not going anywhere. Number 7, the Boston Celtics, 35-35. The Charlotte Hornets, 33-37. The Indiana Pacers, same record, 33-37. And the team who hasn't clinched the play-in berth is the Washington Wizards, 32-38. And the one team who can catch the Wizards is the Chicago Bulls, 2 games back at 30-40. No matter what, the Boston Celtics will be in 7th. Indiana and Charlotte, they can fight for who wants to play Boston first. And then you have the Wizards and the Bulls fighting for that last spot for the play-in. But your 1 through 6, Philly, Brooklyn, Milwaukee, Atlanta, Miami, and New York, that's your playoff teams. Seeding is up for grabs for 1 through 6, but those are your playoff teams. In the West is a little more tricky. Only 4 teams have clinched. Well, everybody has clinched the playoff berth or the play-in berth. Every spot has been clinched. It's just who's going to end up where. So the 4 teams who are definitely in the playoffs in the West is obviously number 1, the Utah Jazz at 50-20. Number 2, the Phoenix Suns at 49-21. Number 3 is the LA Clippers at 47-23. And number 4 is the Denver Nuggets at 46-24. Those teams are fighting for better seeding. So you have the Jazz and the Suns fighting for number 1, and then you have the Clippers, the Suns. So the Clippers is in the mix for number 2 with the Suns and possibly Utah. Number 3 is between the Clippers and the Nuggets. Those are your 4 teams who are definitely in. Dallas is in the playoffs, but they currently are in the 5th spot at 41-29. Right behind them at 6 is the Portland Trailblazers, who's 41-30. And then right now, sitting in the play-in spot as of right now, it's the Los Angeles Lakers at 40-30. Between those 3 teams, one of them gonna get in the play-in spot, and the other 2 gonna make the playoffs. There's nothing but a game separating all 3. There's 1 game separating all 3. 1 game separating all 3. We still got 3 days to go. We got tonight, we have tomorrow, and we have Sunday. So we're gonna see what's gonna happen. But for those who are clinched play-in berths, Golden State at 8, 37-33. The Memphis Grizzlies 9, 37-33. And the San Antonio Spurs at 33-37. So it's really between the Grizzlies and the Warriors for who gets the 7 matchup with the team who was in 7, and whoever's in the 9th spot gets the San Antonio Spurs. So we know all the participants in the West. Got to name them out to you: Utah, Phoenix, Clippers, Nuggets, Mavs, Blazers, Lakers, Warriors, Memphis, and Spurs. Problem is who's playing who in the play-in, and then who's gonna be sitting chilling for the playoffs. That's pretty much where we at right now, as far as the West wise. Now, I'm just gonna go to the key games to look for, because we just want to know who's in, who's out, who's gonna be what. We just want to know. So tonight, 2 games to look out for. I did say it's between Golden State and Memphis to find out who's going to play the 7th seed, and the loser playing, and whoever gets the 9th seed is playing the San Antonio Spurs. So Memphis is hosting Sacramento at 9 p.m. and then Golden State is hosting the Pelicans at 9:30 p.m. Those 2 games to look out for, because that can go either way in both games. Saturday, tomorrow, May 15th, starting your day at 1 o'clock. You have the Charlotte Hornets at the New York Knicks. You have the Los Angeles Lakers at the Indiana Pacers. You have the Chicago Bulls at the Brooklyn Nets. At 2 p.m., you have the Phoenix Suns at the San Antonio Spurs. And then your nightcap for tomorrow night is the Miami Heat at the Milwaukee Bucks. That's something to behold for Saturday night. And then Sunday, the final day of the regular season, Sunday. ESPN has a doubleheader for you. 1 p.m. The Boston Celtics are at Madison Square Garden to take on the New York Knicks. This is a game Boston can use to prepare them for the play-in. Can they get it done in New York? And New York needs this one to make sure they're not the 6th seed in the playoffs. They are the 5th seed. Because if you're the 5th seed, you get the Atlanta Hawks. But if you're the 6th seed, you get the Milwaukee Bucks. That's 1 p.m. Also at 1, the Charlotte Hornets are at the Washington Wizards. The Wizards need it because they trying to solidify their play-in spot. Just in case the Bulls happen to upset the Brooklyn Nets on tomorrow night or tomorrow day. You never know. The Phoenix Suns have round 2 with the San Antonio Spurs at 2 p.m. on Sunday. And then 3:30. I say ESPN had a doubleheader, right? 3:30. The battle for 8th in the West is on the line. The Memphis Grizzlies at the Golden State Warriors. Winner gets the whoever the 7th position is, and the loser gets the San Antonio Spurs in the play-in. That's at 3:30. And then your nightcaps, you have 3 of them, all at 9 p.m. Starting with the Milwaukee Bucks at the Chicago Bulls, if the Bulls are still alive for that 10th spot in the East. The Lakers are at New Orleans to take on the Pelicans, if they are still allowed to get into the playoffs and not to play in. And then to cap it all off, the Denver Nuggets are at the Portland Trailblazers. Portland needs it. Denver needs it. Denver wants the 3rd seed. Portland wants to avoid the play-in. So these games ain't no joke. These games are for real. These games are serious here. Who wants it more? These 3 days, tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday, is going to show who wants it, and who wants it. I'm not going to waste too much of your time, because that's all I got for you. This is it. It's going to be postseason. You better get hyped, because we never had a season like this before. We have some play-ins to look forward to, and then we got the playoffs to look forward to. So this is what it's going to go. This is how it's going to go. The play-in doesn't start till Tuesday. So I can actually do an episode previewing the play-in. But I'm gonna try to go back. I'm gonna try to go back and write some articles for you guys. I'm gonna try to get back in my writing. I'm gonna try my best. I might not be able to do it, but I'm gonna try my best to put some more articles on the website now that we are in postseason mode and we get to see what's going on. So, with that being said, if you're not following the website, follow the website, theplaymakersblog.com. Theplaymakersblog.com. It will be in the show notes. If you haven't been paying attention to the show notes, pay attention to the show notes because everything's on there. Even the brand's social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram
My social media pages on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter are all in the show notes, so y'all can follow the brand and me on social media. Subscribe to the website. Subscribe to the podcast on whatever platform you love listening to this podcast on. Subscribe to it. Stay tuned because I'm coming for the postseason. I'm coming for the postseason now. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Y'all enjoy y'all Friday. Y'all enjoy y'all weekend and get ready because it is playoff season in the NBA. Deuces.
Woo. I hope you guys enjoyed that episode as much as I enjoy bringing it to you. So if you want to stay updated and know when new episodes of Hoop Salts come out, subscribe and follow to the podcast. You can do this on Google Podcasts, Spotify, Speaker.com, or any of your favorite platforms, including iTunes/Apple Podcasts. And for those of you who are listening on iTunes and Apple Podcasts, go ahead and drop a rate and review of the podcast to let us know how we're doing and how we can improve. And for those of you who want to see any other podcasts that we got going on, go ahead and subscribe to our website, theplaymakersblog.com, and you can see all the podcasts that we do. Until next time for Hoops Talk, it's your boy, the Playmaker down there, Silent, signing off.